So, lads, today we have an update. On the Alyssa Thomas jersey situation. So, if you guys don't know, Alyssa Thomas, there were no Alyssa Thomas jerseys according to this fan right here. There were no Alyssa Thomas jerseys in the for Team Clark, because Alyssa Thomas is not on Team Clark, so there obviously was no Alyssa Thomas jerseys for Team Clark. But there may or not have been Alyssa Thomas jerseys at all. But at the same time, we have no idea. Because there is some crazy old reporting. And apparently this person wants an apology. She wants, apparently she'll donate money for, legitimate apologies. I have there could have been a Mercury jersey sold. An Alyssa Thomas jersey sold. We have no way to confirm or deny that at the time of this video, there was no Alyssa Thomas jerseys there. You know what? Maybe there wasn't, but it's a big maybe. And I would actually apologize. I would retract my entire statement if the post confirming there was never any Alyssa Thomas jerseys didn't say there were no Satu jerseys as well. And that apparently an employee of the store said they never got any Satu jerseys. Did Niara Sabally make an all-star team? Because that kind of looks like Sabally. But, so originally there was this post here. And it was from Desert Wave Media, where they said, can confirm the team shop in Indianapolis does not have any Alyssa Thomas or Satu merchandise. Spoke with 2 different employees who told me they didn't receive any. That's a Satu jersey. The response is, honestly, do not believe they went sent anything. That's borderline impossible. The union handles partnership with the league. Also weird that it's only the 2 players from the same team. To be fair, I can't make jerseys. It's more logical. It was some combo of being in the wrong section, poor organization, not knowledgeable employees. Satu, there's clearly a jersey that says Sabally there. Because that's Mitchell. That is not Mitchell. This is clearly a Satu Sabally jersey. And again, I thought this originally was an Alyssa Thomas jersey, but apparently they are selling Caitlin Clark Team Fee jerseys, which is hilarious. And Sabrina Ionescu Team Fee jerseys. But you're correct me if I'm wrong, but the bottom left is definitely Satu. These are not all the jerseys. Satu jerseys are on the wall with the other Team Clark color jerseys. There were even a video of the lady looking for an AT jersey. So, there's a possibility it could have sold out. And you can see here, there's just a random jersey in there. They could have been in behind. And look, there is a possibility. There's all these jerseys. There is definitely a possibility. One, this is not every single jersey it's a picture of. But there is a possibility that they had maybe 5 Alyssa Thomas jerseys in stock and they all sold out. But then, later on, we see this right here. We see the victory lap. Where is it? And by the way, we see the victory lap where suddenly, there's a victory lap. And she's in a different... She's wearing a Mercury jersey now. She's in a different outfit. She's wearing a Mercury jersey and jeans. She's in shorts here. So, she's there looking for apologies. She shows up later to say, look, there's none of these jerseys. They could have sold out. And again, I'm not saying there's not a possibility that there was no Alyssa Thomas jerseys. There is a shot there's no Alyssa Thomas jerseys. But you can't believe this because they said there's no Satu jersey. There clearly was a Satu jersey. And then, you can't victory lap, say, look, there was none of these, and go, be gone long enough to do an outfit change, come back, 5:17 p.m. my time. When was this? 11 p.m. my time. Then come back 6 hours later and be like, look, there wasn't any. I'm sorry, to have an AT jersey. She should be available. I agree she should be available. And if she wasn't available, because in between the time where she shows up here and shows up here, Satu jerseys all sold out. In that time period, Satu jerseys all sold out. So there is a non-zero chance that they sold out of the jerseys quick because they didn't have a lot of them in stock. When I was in when I was in Minneapolis, when I was in Minnesota for Game 5 of the finals, or Game 3 of the finals, Jesus. When I was there for Game 3 of the finals, they didn't have any fee jerseys. They didn't have... The only jerseys they had was they had a Kayla McBride jersey and a Diamond Miller jersey. Why? Because they sold out of all the other jerseys. There is a possibility that they just said, look, we're not going to have... We don't think Alyssa Thomas is going to sell that many jerseys. We're only going to make 3 or 4 of them. And we're going to put them there, and they could have sold out early. They could have sold out super early. Or they could have not had any of the jerseys. But this doesn't check out that employees confirmed they never received any of these jerseys when there's clearly a picture of a Satu jersey. So already this has been proven to be factually incorrect. Already this statement is factually incorrect. And by the way, like, who knows? I am currently in Ireland. I am 4,000 miles away. I have no idea whether or not I'm going to confirm or deny that there were an Alyssa Thomas jersey. But what we can confirm is that this first video is her looking at the wrong team. That this video is 6 hours later. And Alyssa Thomas well deserves to be second in MVP. And by the way, if she was in the other section and there was no Alyssa Thomas jerseys there at all, yeah, go blame the WNBA. That's a bad look on the league. It actually is. It actually probably is a bad look on the league that there's not enough hype for Alyssa Thomas. Because I think Alyssa Thomas has been so good this year. The problem is that one, Alyssa Thomas there's not that many fans of Alyssa Thomas as a player. Like, let's be real, she's a hell of a player. She is a hell of a player, but there are not that many people that are fans of Alyssa Thomas. Like, I'm going to be honest. There aren't. There aren't that many fans of Alyssa Thomas, if we're being honest. But at the same time, Alyssa Thomas basically just has actively said it. She doesn't like most of the fans. And whether she's justified or not in that, like, it is... I think we all know what Alyssa Thomas was coming from. Like, it is a small minority of fans. However, even though it is a small minority of fans, she's making blanket statements about a small minority, and when you make blanket statements about a small minority, the majority that don't fit into those small minority, a lot of them will be pissed off at you, just in general. And Alyssa Thomas is also one of the dirtiest players. But there should have been Alyssa Thomas jerseys. I really do hope that she got there late and the Alyssa Thomas jersey were sold out, or the first time she showed up, she was hoping to get a Team Clark Alyssa Thomas jersey. I hope that's the case. And I hope that Alyssa Thomas didn't have her jersey. If there were no Alyssa Thomas jerseys, like, it's on whoever the jersey suppliers are, because they make the jerseys. It's not on the league. It's not on Kathleen Engelbert. It's on Nike. They should have done a better job with that. But look, I don't see that being the case. I would say they made a very limited amount of Alyssa Thomas, a very limited amount of Satu jerseys. I'd say they made a very limited amount of Sonia Citron, Kiki Riafen jerseys, and I think that all of those jerseys sold out pretty damn quickly. Because let's be real. You can buy the Caitlin Clark jersey anywhere. If you're there, you might not buy the Caitlin jersey. Like, I really wanted to buy a Courtney Williams jersey when I was in Minnesota. I really wanted to buy a Courtney Williams jersey. And I was like, even though obviously Fee is, a really, a hell of a player. An absolute super player. But I really wanted to get a Courtney Williams jersey, and there was none, because people got Courtney Williams jerseys. Like, when I used to go to watch I watched the Brooklyn Nets back in the day a few times. And I remember watching the Knicks, and I'm like, dude, could I get a Porzingis jersey? Or could I get a, trying to think at the time, it was Darren Williams or Paul Pierce and stuff, and I was like, hell no, give me an Andrei Kirilenko jersey, and I still own a Brooklyn Nets Andrei Kirilenko jersey. It's in my parents' house. May or may not fit me right now. But, yeah, that is pretty much it. And again, when nobody knows. And by the way, if there was no Satu Sabally jersey, if this jersey was not clearly a Satu Sabally jersey, and this jersey was not clearly a Satu Sabally jersey, then this tweet might be confirmation of something. But the fact that this tweet very clearly is factually incorrect, and it might be correct about the Alyssa Thomas, but it is factually incorrect about Satu Sabally, I don't think we can, without question, believe it enough to offer the apology. But again, she's at least looking in the right section this time. And I do want to say, because there's no way to prove whether or not she was telling the truth or lying. If there are no Alyssa Thomas jerseys right now, there should have been more. There should have been more jerseys. If they sold out of Alyssa Thomas jerseys that quickly, there should have been more at the end of the day. But yeah, anyway, that is the video. I'll see you guys.